Well, it's kind of like paper macheing a surface with metal.
Yeah, definitely. I tell people that welding is just like using a glue gun.
Yes.
It's just the same thing, except it's
That's a nice shot.
putting metal together instead of, objects, plastic or whatever you're glue gunning.
I have about 6 glue guns.
Oh, it's the best tool ever.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could stick metal into it so that it would last longer.
It's just you need to get a welder, and next thing you know.
Before you know it, I'll be making giant men made out of keys. Or women, I'm not sure.
I try to keep it as androgynous as possible. It's funny when people will come up and they'll have their own impression or their own. They'll call it a she. I don't think of it. I mean, I'm a he, so they tend to navigate that way. But I try to make them as androgynous as possible, just because it's really not about the sex of it. What you gonna do? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, because I wanted to see it's a person made out of locks.
Dragging
Dragging
a very heavy key
key.
made of steel. That is, and the keys. We had to design this. There's actually, you can see on here, it's spring loaded, so because we wanted to keep the tension on the keys, and so there it goes inside. And then when we install it high a little bit, and so when it falls down, it pulls the tension on this, and the spring coil inside of it holds the tension, so it'll keep a straight line because it doesn't quite have the same effect if the key chain is dragging. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. So
Little things like that you have to, you have to figure out when you're making, because you can't just magically put a string of keys and have it be stiff unless it's a rod.
This is one of your earlier pieces, right?
That's from the 2007, 8. They blur.
Where did you get the inspiration to make a giant person made out of blocks pulling a huge set of keys?
That speaks on so many levels. Originally just questions, unlocking locks, questions, and so many aspects of yourself that you're trying to figure out, and it just this is taking it to a whole nother level. And of course dragging along a large key, which is a big answer, but
it's dragging you down.
yeah, and you can always let go of it, but you're still taking it with you everywhere you go. It's like right in front of you right there, but life is never so simple.
It's like catch-22 to the next level.
Oh no, yes.
The ultimate conundrum.
To infinity, yes.
It's the biggest paradox ever.
Yep, that kind of
And then
sums it up.
the form and the process is also baffling. So you first made the structure and then basically glued keyholes or locks on top of it.
Yeah, we started off with a pencil rod armature inside, and then overlaid it with larger swaths. So these are all cast. They're cast plastic resin.
So these aren't real locks.
No. Well, we had about 100 locks that I acquired in a lot of antique locks, and then we made molds of individual locks and brushed metal powders inside of them. So this is copper and zinc and pewter and nickel, some bronze powder, and some straight metal in it. So it looks and feels like, and they're cast, so they're pretty darn close. But
they're really close.
There are thousands of locks.
I never thought that it was cast
that was the idea.
out of mold. Yeah, good idea. What's a pencil rod armature?
It's just pencil rod is 1/4 inch solid rod, which is
simple.
about the size of a pencil.
So did you start out as a sculptor, or were you a painter before? What
started
brought
out
you
drawing
to?
and painting.
You started out drawing and painting.
Yeah, everything starts with drawing for me, and that still is the case. I seem to be doing more sculpture now, but I think my first love is still painting and drawing.
And why do you think you're doing more sculpture now instead of?
That's a good question.
Yeah, if you love painting and drawing, why don't you do more of that?
I don't know. You get started on how do you know how you're gonna. I think that it'll go cycles, but right now it seems to be heavy on sculpture. There used to be more of a balance where I would work some things out in a drawing and a sculpture and back and forth. I don't know. That's a good question. I've been asking that a lot lately.
When did you start making art?
Oh gosh, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I've been doing it over 20 years, probably. Yeah, easily, 25 years maybe. I don't. And it's funny how it evolves. You don't really know what your path is going to be. You kind of back into it. I think you're mentioning that about artists. How do they make a living? They're always trying to figure it out. There is no clear-cut path. I mean, where I ended up is not at all where I thought I would be. I didn't think I would be doing events or festivals because it was not considered, it was almost lowbrow when I'm doing galleries or museums or it was kind of poo-pooed. Like, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, well, wait, you want to have your work shown to thousands of people and get to make things that are now and contemporary and fresh? I'm like, what, and get paid?
Mm-hmm. And Burning Man's like the most amazing gallery in the world.
I mean, that's how we originally came out
there. The galleries in Chelsea to shame.
It was an opportunity just to have people engage your work, and that doesn't happen. I mean, they could actually physically come up and touch things, and that was a big, and actually climb on them or engage them, interact, and that was limited in the venues that I had found, and so this was a great opportunity to expand and do things that I really wanted to do, installations that incorporate people and engage people in it and hold another level. And it kind of evolved. The next thing you know, we build for one, and then another festival wants something, and then pretty soon you're doing 5 festivals, and then you're doing 10, and then you're taking one piece to several, and then you're taking them overseas,
and then cutting them up and turning them into brand new pieces.
Exactly. For several of them have been reincorporated into other sculptures. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah.
But like,
it gives a whole new meaning to recycling art. When you're recycling your own art, you buy
and
one
having other
piece of
people
metal
recycle
and then
your
change
work
it
too.
into like 10 different things.
It's funny that there was an object I picked up recently.
Sorry.